Peace, peace. Peacey, peacey, peace. Peace, peace. Who's in the house tonight? Yes, Andre Polk, it is a very good book. That's the other book that individuals need to get for the Necromancy class. But I'll make those announcements in a few when more people get here. But of course, people are always slow to get here. Ninth Disciple, peace. Chantel, hola. ¿Cómo está, señora? My V, peace, peace. All right, as soon as more people get in here, we'll go over quick announcements, then get right into it. Tonight's video will be short and to the point. But as more people sneak up in here, what up, bro? What up, Sir Noble? As more people get up in here, we'll discuss that, get into it, and finish this video quick tonight. And I'll tell y'all why. Salam. Mas salam, Gypsy Goddess. Trina, peace, peace. All right, as soon as a couple more people show up, we're going to get rolling. Just waiting for them. All right, people are jumping in now. All right, so Cobra Queen, peace. Quick announcements before we begin. Yesterday was the deadline to sign up for the Necromancy classes. I've had a good response. People signed up, took care of their obligations as far as donation. And we're gonna start that as soon as you get the information, you begin. Okay, this is a more hands-on class than discussion and lectures. It's a training class it says for 1 week, but in actuality, you don't want to rush these exercises that are within that training session for week 1. You want to take your time. If you rush, then you're not really doing the work. Take your time. I would say that 1 week in actuality is equivalent to 4 weeks. If you take your time and actually do the exercises without rushing, and you may have to repeat some of the exercises over and over and over. You want to make sure that you get proficient, okay? Some of these exercises are timed exercises. You want to make sure you're proficient in these exercises before we move into week 2. So take your time with that. Coming up, the reason this may be the last class for a public class, I should say, for a month, okay? The reason why is I have family coming into town next week. Shortly after that, I leave to Hawaii on a honeymoon for about 11 days. So I'll be gone during that time. So if you take from now to when I get back, that's that time, that Sunday will be another video lecture for the public. If you have any questions in the next 2 weeks before I leave, you email me. This is for necromancy class. You email me. When I get back, we will have a Skype private class for those who signed up for the necromancy class, going over the material and any questions or anything that came up during the time you were practicing the training, necromancy training. I hope that's understood. Okay, so that's why tonight is kind of abbreviated short class, because I got a lot of things I got to prepare for, so I'm just going to get into it, take a few questions, and get out. So once again, let me say that again, so I don't have to keep repeating it towards the end. All right, the necromancy class, it says week 1 training. Week 1 is equivalent in 4 weeks if you take your time and do the exercises consistently over and over till you become proficient in the exercises. At that time, from now to December 9th, you can email me about any questions in regards to anything in the necromancy classes. This is for people who signed up for the classes. After that time, I get back on the 21st. So on the 22nd, which is a Saturday, I will let it be known that we're having a private necromancy class for those who signed up. Okay, that private necromancy class will be probably sometime when I get back. For those who've actually done the exercises, taken time consistently to do the work, you should have buku amount of questions by the time we have that private class on Skype. Okay, you should have a serious amount of questions, because each exercise is going to lead you to a lot of other things. Okay, and you should have a journal full of questions to ask. So we're going to go over it during that time. If you did not sign up for the necromancy class and still would like to, although yesterday was the deadline, I will make an exception today. You have to do a donation through PayPal. The donation was only this time around to see exactly the response to the classes. It was a good response, so from here on out, it's going to be a set amount. The set amount is for my time. I take the time to put this information together, to study, to practice this material, to make sure it works before I put it out. So tonight is the last deadline for anybody else who wants to sneak up in the class before I cut communication off, except for those in the necromancy class, to December 9th. All right? So it's your chance now to get up in there. Okay? Mama Muerte. Peace, peace. So if you want to sign up, it's tonight. Deadline. No ifs, ands, or buts. The necromancy classes have begun. It's a lot of information in there. For those who received it and have reviewed it, you know it's a few about probably 4 or 5 exercises and other information and material that's not readily. I'm giving that out to the public. This is some serious stuff. So we got serious work to do. I will probably make this announcement again towards the end. All right. So let's get into it. Luciferian Manifest. Now I chose this because I know questions are going to arise through necromancy. You have to remember who and what you are before you really start working with spirits. All right. So we're going to go over this. And we're going to go over it, discuss some of it, get in and out. All right. Luciferianism is a living philosophy that values and honors the dynamic principles essential to the characteristics of Lucifer. Remember, Lucifer is an archetype. It's not a god to be worshipped, although some people do that. It's an archetype, a representation of an intellectual or higher intelligence that we all have the ability to reach. Okay? The name Lucifer can be translated as light bearer. Lux equals light, and feral to bear, which is Latin. Lucifer also denotes Venus as the morning and evening star. There is plenty of material that can provide historical data concerning Lucifer. All right? Luciferians are those who seek the light, which, as we have discussed plenty of times, is the intellect. The intellect of occult knowledge from within the embodiment of that which brings the light or the intellect. By so doing, Luciferians work to attain their own higher intelligence, illumination, or enlightenment. As Lucifer is the embodiment of knowledge, he or she represents that which brings light to the mind of humanity to advance the intellectual evolution of our species. By this being done, we actively pursue our own evolution to higher understanding and higher levels of becoming. If you are on this path, particularly the left-hand path, and you're not seeking to elevate, if you're not seeking to raise yourself up in degrees of consciousness, if you're not seeking to challenge yourself to be better than you were yesterday, then what the hell are you really doing on this path? Because that's what this path is all about. You should be challenging yourself on a daily basis to be greater than you were yesterday. Meaning, if yesterday you had some issues arise, and at that moment you should have done some checking of yourself of why these issues are arising, checking how you react to it to see how much you really evolved from when you began this path. If you still are reacting the same way before you came into this path, there's a lot of work still need to be done. You should, at this point, have evolved to a point that your reactions are minimal so that you are not like the majority of fools who are emotional sheep, who respond and are triggered easily. You should, at that moment, check yourself and say, I don't need to react like that anymore because I am in control of self. In those past issues, I now have mastered or learned to control that. Luciferian is intellectual progress and freedom. A Luciferian may or may not believe in and or worship Lucifer as a spiritual being, deity, or Father God. There is some out there who worship Lucifer. To me, worshiping Lucifer is the same as worshiping God, Jesus, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah. You're back under the religious mentality, you're back under religious dogma, and that's what we're trying to break, all this religious programming. I look at it as a characteristic, an archetype, a symbol, okay? A Luciferian may be purely philosophical regarding the principles symbolically embodied in Lucifer as knowledge, wisdom, and light, which I said is equivalent to intellect. Regardless of personal belief, all Luciferians advocate intellectual individualization over mass conformity and are thereby free to choose that which works best for them. Key point here. We, as Luciferians, we advocate intellectual individualization. You should be specializing in bringing you as the individual to the forefront of your life. You should be specializing in raising the true self up and breaking the programming that exists in your life. Now, some of y'all may say, I broke all programming. I doubt it. And I don't care if you get mad that I said that. I doubt it. Because all of us, including myself, are still programmed to some extent in this society, living day to day. Okay, but I can be honest enough to admit that. You have to be not honest enough to admit that to yourself. Am I still doing what the masses do? Am I still following the sheep and the cattle? Okay, or am I breaking free from that group or herd mentality and becoming more individualistic in my choices, in my thoughts, in my reality? These are things you have to question and ask yourself, because the mere fact that you find yourself doing what the masses does shows that there's still some level of programming that we have not broken yet to this day. This is the process. And it's a continuous process that can and may take some time. But nevertheless, it is a process. Luciferian is essentially the way of intellect and knowledge that leads one to that which is termed the higher self. Some call it the true self or the soul self. Within each Luciferian is a relentless urge to know, to dare, will, and keep silent. Let me say that again. Is the relentless urge to know. You should have thirst for knowing things. You should have thirst for finding out and knowing as much as you can. You should also have an urge and a desire to dare. Dare yourself to do things that you normally would not do. For example, as I said, I'm going to Hawaii for the honeymoon. I'm going parasailing. I used to be afraid of heights till I did zip lining last year. Now I'm going to push myself a little further and dare myself to do some parasailing. So I'm going to really check if I really broke that fear of heights, or is it still there, and I'm daring myself to push myself and challenge myself to the limits to break free from that. That's just one example. You have to find out what it is for you that you put a limit or a cap on that may be holding you back. We have an urge to will, using our willpower, imposing our willpower in our life to accomplish things. And to keep silent, meaning stop blabbering about all the shit you think you know and stay quiet. Some of y'all have met me before, and y'all know that outside of these videos, I do not talk a lot when I see people face to face. I mostly observe and watch people and I speak very little. It's not impersonal. That's just the way I've always been. I don't really run the mouth, have diarrhea of the mouth like that outside of these videos. Normally in life, I'm very quiet and observant, always in the mind, always focusing on developing the self. The world is our laboratory and life is the experiment. Again, this point is very key. And let me tell you why. If you are one of those people who shuns the world, who wants to close yourself off to the world, this is not the path for you. This is about life, and this life is a laboratory. You should be experimenting in your life. I know I do. Some of you I know experiment too. Experimenting means try new things, things that you've never thought of trying before, or create your own experiment in your life. Okay? You can either be the doctor or the scientist that conducts the experiment, or you can be the patient in the experiment. I choose to be the doctor or the scientist that is conducting the experiment, although I'm also a part of the experiment. Meaning I can be a part of the experiment, but I still do my best to maintain control over my life. But I will fluctuate and let it flow at the same time. Okay? So do not be afraid to experiment in your life. This just doesn't mean sexual experiment, God damn it. Because a lot of y'all gonna think that's what I'm referring to. No, it doesn't. I'm talking about any kind of experiment. You might have wanted to be a DJ. Go get some damn fucking turntables. Well, shit, that's old school. Get this modern age turntable DJ equipment and practice. You might have a skill. You might have something that you may develop to be a nice DJ because you have a love of music. Experiment. Try it. Don't be scared. All right? Lucifer is presented by Christian dogma as the devil and a beautiful angel cast down from the heavens to earth. As there is light in all knowledge, we can extract relevant information even from Christianity. Yes, if you really know what to do and how to do on this occult path, especially left-hand path, you know how to extract knowledge from everything out there. To say Lucifer was cast from heavens implies that there existed an intelligent being that came to earth and propagated human illumination. That essentially we are all heavenly beings, for earth is in itself a heavenly body. Although some people don't realize that we do float out there in heaven or space. The devil represents to many non-Luciferians a negative connotation. But to Luciferians, the devil idea is a force inherent in us all and is a source of personal power and growth. In this respect, Lucifer is an impersonal force that is focused on evolutionary consciousness, which involves the mastery of all the emotions involved with growing. How many of y'all are in control of your emotions, or do your emotions control you? Be honest. You don't have to answer to me. You answer to yourself. Be honest. Are you still being controlled by your emotions, or are you learning to be more in control over your emotions? That's a question that you really have to focus on in your everyday life, okay? Because if your emotions get the best of you, then you're still a slave to your own emotions. And that can really wreak havoc in your life later. So do your best to check your emotions. Lucifer is known as the angel of light, as well as the prince of darkness. Often Luciferianism is associated with Satanism. While it is true that they possess a mutual link, Satanism and Luciferianism represent different stages of intellectual development towards self-knowledge and self-attainment. Satanism is the initial defiance against mass conformity and towards intellectual freedom by way of rebellion, selfishness, and self-indulgence. Now, I understand it because I know some Satanists personally. It is a form of rebellion. It is a form of breaking free from mass conformity. What happens is some get caught up so much in the indulgence and being caught up so much in the part of selfishness that it kind of sometimes stunts the growth. Okay? As all Satanists have in some way been negatively influenced by Christianity. They seek to secure a position within the forces of its opposition. However, as one begins to develop intellectually, Satanism in its carnality does not satisfy the hunger for true knowledge, and thus the initiate may advance to eat of the fruit of knowledge that can be gained through Luciferic illumination, the body of knowledge that illuminates the mind and manifests the higher self. In this way, does one advance their own intellectual self-awareness and alter their understanding of reality within the self and the world about. The pleasures of the flesh remain a part of being human. And no true Luciferian would deprive themselves or others of that which arouses the senses. Let me stop here on a note. Okay? If you're denying yourself pleasures, you still have some form, shape, or fashion, some kind of religious ideal mentality of what it's like to be religious or spiritual or so highly evolved. You're a human being. Master the flesh first. Master the physical first before you go beyond that and try to be some Buddha, okay, some Bodhisattva, and forget about the fact you live here. You were born here, and you were born here with a task to master this environment and master this atmosphere, master this existence before you get spooked out on us. You are here as a human, so in order to master the flesh, you have to sometimes indulge in the flesh to the point that you break your limits and keep breaking the limits and boundaries and borders you put on yourself to realize that on the other side of that boundary or border is a level of enlightenment or endarkment, whatever definition you want to choose. But you would never know that so long as you stay here within your own borders, boundary, limitations that you set upon yourself or society or family or religion. It's not wrong to indulge in the flesh. Listen, recently I went to a New York Knicks basketball game. Recently, I was at a festival. I do all the things that I enjoy to do, and I do not answer to anybody. Years ago, people would have been like, "Oh, you're physical. Oh, you're not spiritual enough. You're enjoying yourself too much." That's not what spiritual people do. We deny the flesh. Fuck out of here. I enjoy the flesh. Okay? I enjoy music, dancing to music. I enjoy nice cars. I enjoy yachts. If I can roll in a yacht, I'm gonna enjoy that. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy beautiful, curvaceous women. I enjoy all that shit. And I ain't gonna lie about it. I ain't gonna joke about it. It is straight up real. And if you could be real with yourself about that shit, you start breaking the borders, boundaries, and limitations and say, you know what? I still have some shit I need to indulge in the flesh before I get super spooky and spiritual and go meditate and levitate somewhere. And I ain't even mastered this shit yet. Okay? Heightened awareness of oneself and one's environment leads towards self-mastery and self-sovereignty. Rulership over yourself, sovereignty, rulership over yourself, independent rulership over yourself. Not the Moorish sovereignty, real sovereignty, meaning sovereignty of the mind, sovereignty of the body and soul. That's real sovereignty. This is temporary sovereignty here when you're in this existence. I'm talking about eternal sovereignty. That's the point you get to, but to get to that eternal sovereignty, you're going to have to roll through this physical life, learning how to master it and enjoying it while you're doing it, okay? It is the path of self-ruling that the Luciferian illuminates. Knowledge is power. The knowledge afforded by the Luciferic light is the way that leads toward the discovery of one's true self. It is a lifelong journey that continually awakens the individual's personal power as a conscious living force. A living force that possesses the powers of a God to create and destroy. You are that God. You are that God who has the ability to create and destroy. And you've been doing this since you were a young child and never realized that you created your existence and you destroyed things in your existence as well. But as long as you keep passing the buck to some external force or forces or gods or goddesses, you're always going to be a slave to someone, somehow, somewhere. It is the ability to build, to tear down, and to rebuild again to higher standards. The powers of creation and destruction are focused internally in as much as they are focused externally. It is the magnum opus. It is the operation of manifestation, and it is the arcanum of light. Luciferians are in the world, but not of it. They are self-aware, conscious beings that can exist beyond the clan mind in its cultural and social restraints. For such restraints repress the individual and inhibit self-development. Let me tell you this. I'm proud of my culture. I'm proud of my nationality, ethnic group, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I'm also wise enough to see the limitations my culture has, the stupidity and ignorance my culture has, and I will question it and destroy those parts of that culture within me that don't benefit me. Now, they may be opposed to what most people do when they accept something. They accept the stupidity of the culture as well and never question it. Means you're back under false pretenses of what you consider to be true or right. Okay? Cultural systems that are built upon false security and false superiority harbor the weak. Such systems are threatened by individualization and therefore shun it. It is the conditioning by such systems that prevent people from finding individual light, for it instills the fear of being alone in the world. A Luciferian realizes their own isolation and is able to walk alone, but is never lonely. The light of Lucifer awakens self-knowledge. The spectrum of light manifests a shift in consciousness within evolutionary beings. It may develop slowly or come in flashes, just as he or she tempted Eve to eat of the fruit of knowledge, thus awakening in her a realization, a revelation that placed her outside of and above the animal kingdom, which was the Garden of Eden. She thereby entered a higher reality, which led to higher knowledge. The evolution of humanity continues to this day and age, and we are experiencing yet another shift in consciousness as Lucifer once again tempts the human race towards higher levels of consciousness. The Luciferian is intellectual illumination, and the light of knowledge shines forth from every source, for all is the embodiment of knowledge. Therefore, Luciferians are not confined in their study or practice, for they may find their own truth in various systems of thought, picking the fruit of knowledge from here and there, and developing their own working system of thought and magic designed for their own selves. A Luciferian understands that all knowledge attained by humankind is irrevocably the light of Lucifer. This is very important. And the reason why it's important is because you should not limit your shit, your path, just because of your nationality, your race, or whatever else. Okay? Just because you're African or descended from Africa does not mean that you're restrained and constrained to nothing but African traditions. If you think like that, you're a small-minded fool and you need to keep it moving. It's a vast world. At the same time, you'll tell me, oh, we populated the whole planet. We taught everybody. Well, if that's the case, then there's truth in every goddamn thing across this planet, and your ass should be able to find it and use it for your growth. Okay? So do not constrain or restrain me just to one thing because of my descendancy, nationality, or race. That is stupidity and a herd mentality that keeps people stuck in the stupidity that they're in today. Lucifer's light is also likened to the silver star, the morning star and the evening star. It is symbolic of the Luciferian as a balanced, radiant being of opposing forces. The morning star, which is the planet Venus, represents the feminine qualities embodied within the masculine qualities of Lucifer. The intellect and intuition unify within as one thinking entity. As he represents light and darkness, so too does he possess masculine and feminine principles. His light and knowledge radiates like a star, a fixed point of consciousness, light hanging in the balance of influential forces. A Luciferian does what all others say cannot be done. To walk the fence, balance between opposing forces, to experience both the positive and negative attributes of life, and thereby experience life to its fullest potential. Let's get with this part. You know how many times I hear people constantly tell me, yo, I got to think positive. Everything is positive. I got to stop negative thinking when it starts. Bullshit. Let me tell you why I say it's bullshit. Because if you constantly run from negative, you don't understand negative. And if you don't understand negative, you cannot truly understand positive. You have to go into the negative to really understand what positive is and vice versa. But we always are taught to embrace just positive, 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 meaning you're ignoring this other part of yourself that may think negative sometimes and deals with negative shit and brings out negative shit in yourself. If you're constantly running from that, you can't reach the integration point or the harmonic point or harmonious point where you bring the two into what is considered balance. If you're always constantly running from that reality and always chasing the positive, you're a goddamn fool. because you're not understanding the other part of yourself, and thus that part of you is dying and you are becoming more delusional in your life. You should focus on that negative as well. You should understand the negative part of yourself. Stop always with this, oh, I got to think positive. When the negative thoughts arise, I have to think positive. Bullshit. Let me tell you why it's bullshit. First of all, you need to know why it's negative and where that negative thought is coming from, because it's coming from you. And if it's coming from you, it's coming from a place in you that you need to discover and find out why it's manifesting that negative thought. If you're not doing that, what the hell are you doing then? You're running to the positive and forgetting about everything else. That's the same fool that tells me they want to work on their crown chakra and never even worked on the root chakra and doesn't understand it. Never even understands why the root chakra is important or anything else. That's the same stupidity that I heard for years now. Deal with the negative. It's a part of you just as much as the positive. If you become a positive being, you are in balance. And let me tell you why I say that. What's an atom made out of, y'all? An atom. An atom is made out of what? Protons and neutrons. Then you have your nucleus in the middle, right? Anyways, whatever. I might have said that wrong, but you get the point. Okay? That's what an atom is. And to have an atom, you have this balance within there. Same thing with you. You have to have both within you. You got to stop dealing with these stupid-ass conscious fools that keep telling you, no, sister, put that negative thought away and deal with the positive. No, sister, I shun negativity. No, sister, I don't deal with negativity. Well, then you're a goddamn fool. Anyways, whatever. Be Lucifer, the god of or the principle of light, which is intellect, knowledge, and magic. Him do we acknowledge, and him do we honor as the embodiment of our higher standards and ideals. To reveal our true selves, purged of all delusions and lies, which I was just bringing up, purged of all delusions and lies, to think freely without dictated beliefs, and to embark upon our own true path can come about only as we begin to have trust in ourselves and pursue higher knowledge. By so doing, we make better choices for our lives, the lives of others, and the world. The Luciferian is just to those who are just, respectful to those who are respectful, and makes others strong in time of weakness, while not tolerating the weak. It's a difference. I can make somebody strong while they're feeling weak, but I do not tolerate the weak-minded people or the weak. Okay? Freedom does not belong to the weak. They feed off the strong who fight for it. Therefore, they must be eliminated. I'm 100% with that. If you're weak and you're leeching off my ass, get the fuck out of here. I do not put up with that bullshit. Weakness is limitation, and that which holds back evolutionary advancement. One must overcome the lower self or the weaker part of yourself and become the higher or true self, which is the strength of one's own inner truth. It is the will of the Luciferian to discover and build upon strong points, to strengthen them by strengthening the weaknesses that inhibit and keep us from ascending toward higher levels of self-manifestation. How long have we been saying, since Awakening Universal Minds to these videos, we've been saying, take your weaknesses and make them into a strength. Some of y'all who've been listening to us for over 3, 4, 5 years now should have done that by now, or at least partially done some of that. You should have focused on some of those weaknesses and started turning them into strength. If you ain't done that by now, I don't know what you're doing. Couldn't tell you what you're doing. Okay? But the point is, you take those weaknesses, you turn them into strength. That's true alchemy, y'all. And that's how you get ahead in life. That's how you start to evolve in life, when you really focus on those things. If you still talking about, I want to die, or different things like that, then that means there's this weak part of yourself that wants to give up in the fight and pursuit of your excellence, of your supremacy, or raising up to a greater being. That weak part of yourself is the part you should focus on and go deep into to discover it, because that weak part of yourself is what's holding you back. The Luciferian shall manifest that will in the world, thus enhancing the human condition in this world and preparing it for the next. It is all in the mind, in each and every individual mind. All is mind, and mind is all. The universe is mental. The imagination sparks the light that affords the Luciferian insight into his or her own potential. The will is the black flame within that fires the soul to manifest itself. It is the dark light that penetrates every living thing, that light not seen by two eyes but one. By way of study and practice of the higher arts of knowledge, does Luciferian participate in the reality of matter and energy, raising the energy body into a radiant soul, from lead to gold, shining forth as the energy of consciousness, living force, thereby becoming solar. The solar body is the embodiment of an individual source of light, intelligence, and energy, penetrating every solid and intangible thing. This is the arcanum of light. This is the path of the Luciferian. And we'll leave that there, and we'll get busy. All right, let me scroll up, because some of y'all probably been typing some stuff, talking shit about me, dissing me. So I'm gonna check if anything. No, let me stop. For real, let me just scroll up and see what's good. My V, that's good. You lasted 1 minute. But you know why that's good? Because it's real. It's real because you were honest enough to say, I only lasted 1 minute in my exercise for focus and concentration. That's step one. Some people are going to lie and say, oh, I lasted 15 minutes and I transformed and I met these spiritual beings of light and they tickled my fanny and we danced the jig together. Please cut it out. Okay? Fry them chicken wings, girl. Making me hungry. Necro Cannon, peace, peace. Listen, y'all. Speaking of Kali, I'm going to do a special class, and then I'm finally going to get to do that video when I get back. The name of the class, just for y'all know, is How to Get Your Freak On with Kali. All right? How to get your freak on with Kali. And it's not exactly what you think, but some of what you think. We're going to get into some real Kali work because, as Mama Muerte said it best, when you really want to do some development, you really want to work on mastering self, tap into that Kali energy. Work that Kali energy. That Kali energy of destruction is some real shit. Okay? It'll take you as an individual and it will go deep into yourself and cause a chaotic evolution in your life. Meaning you may lose some of the things you thought were important in your life. You may gain things that are even better. You're going to go through some trials and tribulations and turbulent times when you work with Kali. Kali is also associated with necromancy. She is a goddess of the cremation grounds, goddess of death, not just destruction and chaos, but a goddess of death. Because destruction leads to chaos and death. Death leads to renewal. It doesn't always mean physical death. It could be a spiritual death. So Mama Muerte, you're right on point, because I'm going to go deep into Kali for a little while after when I get back. We're going to tap and associate that and connect that to necromancy. All right? You're right on point with that. You must have been reading my mind. All right, anyways. Love me for, oh, shit. Ain't seen you in a minute. What up? What up? Alex Rivera, that is 100, 100, 100. You are the judge and jury in your life. And never, ever should you let anybody judge you. Only you should judge yourself. Because other people will judge you based upon their perspective. And sometimes their perspective is a programmed conditioning from family, friends, religion, society, things of that nature. You should judge yourself, and only you should judge yourself. You should take hold and be accountable only to self. So you're 100% correct on that, Alex. Like 100, all right? Exactly, Necrocannon. Your perception or perspective on life can make things dogmatic sometimes as well. And it can stunt your growth, whether we realize it or not. This is why you go deep into your weaknesses, deep into your programming and conditioning, and you start to tear that down. Kali is best to do that. If you want to use or need an archetype or symbol to do that, Kali's one of the best to do that. Okay? I've been working with Kali for years, and every so often, I'll go back to working with her for a little while, and then my spirit guides me somewhere else once some things have been done. Mama Huerta, yep, you're a slave to your emotions sometimes pertaining to your daughter. Let me tell you, some parents, and I'm not judging people, I'm just saying from my perspective and my observation, some parents are slaves to their kids. And it's sad. I see the way some of these kids run over parents. And y'all thinking these kids are just kids. Nah. Some of these kids are incarnated old souls who got years of wisdom, and as they develop their linguistic skills, they manipulate the hell out of their parents. I done seen it. I have some nephews myself who done, listen, I done seen the shit myself. Anyway. What up, spiritual stud? What's good? All right, good work. Jennifer, good to see you, Jennifer. Yeah, I know some of y'all's brain went there when I said experimenting wasn't just sexual. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all some freaky. It's all good though. Embrace the freak. That's why the first class that I do when we get back is called How to Get Your Freak On with Kali. All right. Necrocannon 100. Take what you need and discard the rest. You should be doing that for all your spiritual studies in all endeavors in life. Take what you need, throw out the rest. If the shit ain't right with you, it ain't sitting right, get rid of it. Mr. Low Key from Indiana. Good. Nice for checking in. Alex Rivera, you're 100% correct. Again, negative is necessary for positive. Love would be the love. I mean, shit. Love wouldn't be love if it wasn't selfish. The negative complements and balances the positive component. It accompanies. You're 100% correct. Demetrius, correct. You need negative and positive to generate current. That's 100% correct. If not, these things don't come on. Straight Panther, I ain't seen you in a minute. Peace, bro. JG, Mental Alchemy. There you go. 100% correct. I just turned in, but I'm going to chime in when I can. I lasted 40 seconds, past 2 minutes. Good. Keep it going. Keep it going, y'all. All of y'all who are signed up for the Necromancy class, Keep it going. That first exercise, please keep repeating that over and over and over. You do not realize how important that is when you're working with the spirits. Very important. Dark light, peace, peace. Good to see you. You hit 33 seconds. That's good. At least y'all hitting some seconds. Hitting some. If y'all did 2 seconds, then you totally suck. I mean, let's just be real. 30, 40, 50. That means you going somewhere. Now, the next time you should be progressing a little more and a little more and a little more. Okay? But it's a good place to start. That happens a lot. But here's the problem, JG. You stare at the object, but the point is, do not notice the objects that have form around it. Keep staring just at the object. That's the trick. Because those in the background, well, we'll discuss that in the private class. You'll understand it then. All right. Demetrius, yes, the Kali current is the shit. By the way, y'all, they have this huge Kali statue here. I shouldn't even be telling y'all, but I ain't going to tell you the name of the store because that's just reserved for me. There's a huge Kali statue like this tall. Damn, you can't even see it because the computer doesn't go up that high, but trust me, it's really tall. Okay? For like 200. Black Kali statue. The shit is fire. So guess what? I told my boy to save it down there, this Indian shop. I said, save it because when I get back, it's mine. I'm going to show y'all how this statue is. The thing is fire. I never seen this statue anywhere in existence but here. 200, but the sucker's huge. Black Kali statue. You know they don't make a lot of black Kali statues. Always blue and all these other fairy tale colors. I want some dark shit. Kali in her original form. That shit is nice. So I'm going to get that. And when I get it, I'm going to show y'all. Okay, that's why I haven't done the ritual yet, because I'm working on getting that. The reason why I think he sold it, but he getting one back in. That's why I told him to hold that shit. So if he sold that, he said he will have another one for me soon. So anyways, it's going to be popping soon. I'm just waiting for that because I'm a build a shrine around that huge-ass Kali statue. Anyways. Shrew, 2121, love you too. Though I never seen you, I love you too. Spiritual stuff, what up, what up? Jennifer, if you ain't gonna say how long you lasted, I can only imagine. That's how Kali works too. She'll come, that energy will come when it's time to just destroy shit. True indeed, Alex Rivera. All right, so check this out, y'all. Good. I'm happy you've been watching, but it's time for some of y'all to comment. Even if you ain't got a lot to say, just comment. You know what I'm saying? Just say hi. What up? You know what I'm saying? Something. I'm hungry. Let's dance. Some shit to let us know you there so we can start a dialogue. Now I'm gonna put my email address here, okay? I'm gonna put my email address here. If anybody ever wants to dialogue or build on some spiritual shit, I ain't into all the debate and controversial shit, so don't hit me up with bullshit. But if you want to build dialogue, it's all good. You hit me up at that email address. Also, announcements. Okay, I'm going to repeat these announcements in now that the room is full. Okay, necromancy classes. We had a good sign up for it. Okay, the necromancy classes week 1 training is available. The deadline was yesterday. However, I'm going to make an exception today. I see my good brother Sir Noble took advantage of the opportunity and signed up today. The week 1 training comes with various exercises to help you prepare to do work in necromancy. Not only that, It also comes with additional information when it comes to conjuring, summoning, circles, things of that nature. If you still are interested in joining, email me at that address, darkoccultist99@outlook.com. By tonight. Tonight is the deadline. Now, it's called week 1 training, but it's not 1 week of training. It's just the title. If you're honest and sincere with you, you should take about 4 weeks or more to accomplish going over that whole curriculum, the first week curriculum. Okay? I did that purposely because I checked to see who's rushing and who's being serious. If you're being serious, you're going to do exercise 1 alone several times to get to 2 minutes or more. For those who have it, know what I'm talking about. Okay? So let's just be real. It's going to take at least 4 weeks or more. Be honest with yourself and do not rush it. Otherwise, listen, if you rush it, you're not going to get to the level you should if you really want to work necromancy, working with the spirits, communicating with the spirits, things of that nature. Other thing. This will be the last class for about 3 weeks to a month. From here to December 9th, any questions on necromancy, email me. Some of y'all, the more I get to know y'all, I'll give you my my phone number in time. The more I get to know you, I give you my text because you'll get a quicker response. I get flooded, and the fact that I run 2 businesses, possibly a third soon, it's not easy to respond to everybody's email. Okay? So soon I'll give my phone number to those as I get to know you more. From December 10th through the 21st, I'm going to be gone. Okay? I'm going to be on my honeymoon. All right? So you know I don't want to be disturbed during that time. We're going to be in Hawaii. I'm not trying to be disturbed. I'm just being real. So from here to December 9th, any questions pertaining to the class, hit me up. The necromancy class. When I get back on December 22nd or so, that Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to put out a message that we will be having a necromancy group class on Skype or Hangouts or Duo, whatever the hell it's called now. And that way we'll be able to all come together and discuss the curriculum. And then we'll start having classes once a week on Skype for the necromancy classes. This worked out perfectly because I'm giving y'all time to do the practices over and over and over till you become proficient in those exercises before we get to week 2. Okay? I'm repeating this now so I don't have to say this again. Hopefully y'all understand that. Okay? So from here to December 9th, hit me up with any questions you have about the necromancy class, week 1. If for anything, then I'll be back on that 22nd or 23rd of December. Hit me up then if you have more questions. And I'll put out a message that we'll be having a private Skype class for those who signed up for the necromancy class. Okay? Week 2 will start shortly after that, after we get over the questions, deal with those things. Week 2, from there on out, we're going to try to have, from week 2 to week 4, we're going to try to have a ritual here in Orlando, Florida, for those who can make it, and I'll put it out a month in advance. And we're going to go to this labyrinth here at a cemetery here. This labyrinth is designed to help you communicate with spirits. Okay, we're going to do a ritual, and I'll let y'all know when that's going to be a month in advance. Also, okay, we're going, plus when y'all here, we could get to meet, know each other, possibly go out to Disney. No, I ain't taking y'all to Disney. Some of y'all act too childish. That means, let me play it. But anyways, check this out. So, that's going to pop off. Like I said, when I come back, the first video I'm going to do is called How to Get Your Freak On with Kali. Okay. Now, if you want to sign up for the necromancy classes, tonight's the last night. It's a donation. Next time around, it's going to be straight, solid, one-time payment. But from here, it's a donation. Okay. I'm trying to work with people, get you to see what level we're going to. If you're really loving it or interested or feeling it, then it's going to be a one-time fee from all the classes from here on out. We're going to have vampiric classes. We're going to have Kali class, all kinds of stuff. This is just a segue in the beginning. Okay? It's a one-time donation of at least $10 or more. Notice how I put the emphasis on or more. You do what you can. Okay? So you sign up. I'm going to send you, whoever emailed me tonight, I'm going to send you the payment information. It's through PayPal. Do that. Okay? But we're going to get busy from here on out. It's not just going to be lectures. We're going to actually do some real work. All right? So those who really want to get deep into doing some real work, we're going to get busy. All right? So I'm just putting that out there so y'all know. Yes. Biamos, working necromancy, is it possible to work with the spirit without access to their grave? Yes. Let me tell you why. When you start working or building an altar, that's one of the things we're going to discuss. Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a minute, Jennifer Ashley. All right, so check this out. What you do when we build an altar, we're going to go over how to build your own personal altars, okay? For necromancy. Your altar becomes a vortex or a gateway of energy. So spirits are going to come in and out. Those who have permission and those who don't are going to come in and out. So we're going to go over all of that. But yes, you can have access to spirits without even ever going to their graveyard. Yeah, I know. I understood what you said, JG, but I had to say that for all others. Just focus on that. But trust me, JG, you will say why that happened. Okay, JG, you will see why that happened, that you saw other things in the background. But we're going to go over that in the private classes. All right? So the only reason I said that is to help others just realize, focus on that first, and then you'll see what happens around that. Some of y'all have gifts, so when you start seeing that shit, that's a gift. But we'll go over that. Alex Rivera, thank you, bro. Yeah, Andre Pope, a lot of us may feel like we may be like, oh shit, I'm gonna do this 2 minutes. Nah, some of us may have work to do. It depends on the individual, but if you're honest enough, you know what you got to do. All right. Mama Muerta, that's good, because Kali will destroy it to bring abundance and prosperity in your life. So I'm happy to hear that. Good to see you too, Jennifer. Yes. Speaking of that, thank you. Okay. I sent out 2 books on PDF. Communing with Spirits by Martin Coleman, which actually they have the paperback copy on Amazon for $20. So if you like the book enough, get the paperback as well. I get the paperback because I need to highlight, make notes, and stuff like that. Secondly, please, I forgot to add that book, but I don't have it on PDF file. Please get the book. Excuse me. Please get the book, Witch's Book of the Dead by Christian Day. That is also the 3rd book we'll be using. And one of the things we're going to use from there is how to make your own pact with a spirit. It's not exactly the same he has it there, but that's a good idea. All right? So we're going to go over how to make pacts with a spirit. That's going to happen in week 2 or 3. Okay? Get that book, please, because it's essential in your work. Smooth God, yes. Sometimes your spirits, when you work in necromancy, sometimes wow. Yeah, anyway, so the reason I looked over here is because some shit just fell over here, so I know there's a spirit around here. It broke my damn incense holder. T-shirts fell. God damn it. We're gonna have a talk. Don't be throwing shit around in here. But anyways, whatever. So that's why I looked over there, because I was like, what the hell? All right, so they're trying to get a point across. We'll talk later. All right, so yes. Where was I? Yes, dream work is important because sometimes spirits will communicate in your dreams more so than when you're doing the ritual and just meditating after the ritual. Okay, sometimes they will communicate more in your dreams. So yes, understand that reality. Archive.org does, also scribd.com. Let me put that in here because Scribd used to have it. I don't know if they have it anymore, but you can find a lot of good books, or you can find a lot of PDF files on scribd.com. It's only $8.99 a month, and I utilize it because it allows me to read a book and then decide if I want to get the hard copy or after. And I'm talking about even new books, very new books, even to see if I want to get a book and then decide if I want to get the hard copy or after. And I'm talking about even new books, very new books, even to see if I want to get the hard copy after or not. There's a lot of shit I've read, and I'm able to make highlights and make notes to my own personal notes from things I've read there that I never bought the book because it wasn't worth it. But some of the shit I extracted, saved it, and made notes from it. Just letting y'all know. Scribd.com is a great place for that. Okay, JG, are there ways to practice being a walking ceremonial ritual without starting with an altar, or is altars a mandatory beginning stage to start? Well, there's a lot of things you don't need an altar for. Like certain rituals, certain things, yes, you may need one. Certain paths, you may not necessarily have to have one, like Luciferians. Some of them may not have altars because they're the walking altar or the walking ritual. But when it comes to working necromancy, unless you live in a graveyard or around a graveyard every day, you're going to have to build that death current within your establishment or place of refuge. That's one of the best ways to communicate with spirits. All right. But you can start very simple. We're going to go over that. Very simple ways without even having to use money or have to use a lot of money to create an altar for necromancy. We're going to go over all that. Don't worry about it. All right. So any other questions, comments, concerns before I wrap this up early tonight? I did this quick because, I got stuff to do, got stuff to get ready for. 2 weeks pops up real quick and I'll be on a plane. So trust me, I got a lot of stuff to get ready for. I just want to make sure y'all straight, that y'all have y'all training classes. I see a couple other people hitting me up, so I'm going to send y'all the information and we're going to get it popping from there. All right. So any other questions? Bring them up now. This is why you have me here now. Bring it up now. All right. Once again, let me put my email address while I'm waiting for questions. In case y'all missed it, some of the people that came in a little late or not. If you still want to sign up, midnight tonight is the deadline to sign up for the necromancy classes. It is a $10 donation or more. Okay? Next time around is going to be a straight set fee. Myself was just checking to see the interest level and how serious people wanted or are about this. I see it now, so we're going to have a set fee from here on out. So now, from here on out, it's going to change. But right now, you have till midnight tonight to sign up for the necromancy class. It's a $10 donation or more to get it popping. How do I continue to make offerings while I'm on my honeymoon? Simple. I go to the ocean and I work some rituals at the ocean. I bring incense with me wherever I go. And I go into nature and do some rituals. That's constant for me. I always will, wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna do some work. I don't always need all that either. My work is in the moment. And what I mean by that is if there's a situation arises where I see my weaknesses taking hold again, I do rituals in the moment to master that situation and challenge myself at that moment to be better. JG, yes. We're going to discuss servitors. I had a video a few weeks back on how to create a servitor, but we're going to go more into that. Some necromancers do use deities. Okay? The only two deities that I work with when it comes to necromancy is Ampu, so I'm known as Anubis, and Kali for the masculine, feminine energy. I have that on there. Everything else is just straight symbols of death. But when I work with deities or archetypes, that's the only two I work with nowadays for my necromancy. Okay? And every so often, Baun Samdi. But I already have a symbol Baun Samdi with a skull and a top hat on there. So that's on the altar. Okay? So let me just say three. Baun Samdi or Baron Samdi. One of the Gede, the Master Gede, for the death spirits. All right? No, it's not necessary to have an altar for Lucifer to embody the points of power effectively. It's not necessary. With Lucifer, you actually could do rituals that encompass earth, water, fire, and air, encompass the elements and how to bring the elements into existence more into your reality. But email me. I'll see if I can find a ritual and I can email it to you, Smooth the God. But it's a quick ritual you can do to tap into working that Luciferian energy. Thank you all for the wishes for the honeymoon. Alex, where are you? All right, hold on, Alex. All right, we're getting juicy here, Alex. You know I'm in Orlando, right? I'm surprised I might have never met you if we're in Orlando. I go to Avalon every so often, Alex Rivera. But I have a website here too. Don't forget, y'all. Some of the stuff you need for the necromancy class is on my website, serpentcrystals.com. Okay? Shit, I'm spelling it all wrong. Go to serpentcrystals.com. A lot of the stuff you're going to need for this necromancy class is on that website. So get what you need from that website. All right? It's my website, so get it from there. But Alex, you got to hit me up, bro. You got to stay in touch because you're in Old Town. I'm in Orlando as well. And I go to Avalon quite often. And we can meet up and start doing some work and then start getting stuff ready for other people when we do rituals here in Orlando. So Alex, stay in touch, brother. I didn't know you was from Orlando, so stay in touch. Yeah, Alex, I live in Orlando. You in the Orlando area too. So it's all good. We can stay in touch and work from there, bro. All right? And yeah, I have a website, serpentcrystals.com. Go check it out. All the gemstones or crystals, BAMOS 85, are on my website. All the ones that you need for necromancy are on my website. Check it out. You can get them from there. All of them are on there. The best ones for necromancy are on my website. That website is dedicated to a lot of vampire magic and necromancy. It has other stuff, but it's mostly dedicated for that. Good, Sir Noble. I appreciate that. All right. So, Alex, hit me with an email. Dark Occultist 99. Let me put it in one more time. I'm about to get off this. So I'm gonna put this out here. And the website, my website is serpentcrystals.com. I'll have a beautiful time. And when I come back, I'm going to edit and put out the video for our vacation time in Hawaii. As y'all know, I'm trying to diversify the website, the YouTube page, put different things on there. So I'm going to put that vacation time on there so y'all can see it. I'm getting better with editing, but I still got work to do. So I'm going to put that out there so y'all can see and just peek a little bit into my life. But anyways, y'all, have a good time. I'll see y'all in a month. All right? Peace.